Hello everyone, good morning. I'm just waking up from sleep and I had series of dreams. God showed me lots of things in my dreams. And first of all, before I'm not going to talk about the dreams now, I'm going to talk about this later, but I want to address something. I want to address this thing going on in the UK, the digital ID card that they introduced, and they made it mandatory for everybody that if you don't have these ID cards, you won't be able to work in the country, which is a form of control, because while they didn't get the public approval on this particular thing, and they just came and made a declaration and want it to just happen like that. And I looked into, I checked this online. A lot of people were saying that they're introducing the mark of the beast and all of these things. But when I looked into it, I had a dream. And in this dream, God showed me a lot of things. And also, I mentioned this thing, this digital ID card. I mentioned it. And from my understanding of the previous dreams I have had, deception is rising. Yes, deception is rising. Satanists are everywhere. Satan's agents are everywhere, luring people, deceiving people into doing things they shouldn't do. And these people are not coming in form of devils. Like, if you see them, you will feel like they are for God, but they are not for God. And that is how they come. They come as pure souls to win the heart of men. So that in that way, now when they've captured your heart, they strike. And that is how the Antichrist will be. So my take on this digital ID card is the fact that from what I had in my dream, yes, that they were making ways to invoke the devil, which was, they were trying to go ahead of God's plan, which the thing is that God's plan can never be changed, because he has the time and hour for everything to take place according to the scriptures in Revelation. So this digital ID now is just like a semi-introduction, because they are now enforcing it on individuals, so they see the response of individuals. So but we as believers, God has given us this gift of, God has blessed us with this gift of discernment, which is very important in our daily lives, so that when we see these things, we will be able to know what is for God and what is not for God. Because from my own take in this digital ID is a semi-introduction, because why would somebody come out and say you should now start using digital ID card and enforcing it on you as an individual and citizens, and say if you don't use it, you won't be able to work in the country? So that is where the red flag is at. That is where the red flag is at. And that is where you will know that something is off. This is a semi-introduction to the mark of the beast. This is not the mark of the beast. It's a semi-introduction, because this will enable the response of people. Once it starts and maybe everybody is relaxed and accept it for what it is, then they will know what to do about it. They made it mandatory so that now they use control. But as believers, we can't keep quiet. We need to rise, because it's from one country that it will extend to the rest of the country, because the rate of lawlessness is increasing in the country. The rate of leaders not being able to work as they should is increasing in the country, and that is the lawlessness we are speaking about here. So believers, we can't sit down and watch this unfold. We need to rise and fight, not just by protesting, but by prayers. We need to pray, because God, we need to pray for Christians. We need to pray for believers in these trying times. And we need to pray, oh Lord, that God intervenes, because God has his time and hour for everything to take place. And they are trying so hard, because they can't wait any longer to introduce these things. So now they are bringing a semi-introduction of the mark of the beast as the digital ID card. So they see the response of people, and they see how the whole world will react to it. Because it's from this that opens way to the mark of the beast. Because everything is going to be done digitally. And if you are not able to follow their instructions, you are in trouble. Once they get your information online, they say that it's harmless. They take track of everybody. They take track of your information is stored in a system. You are no longer safe. Forget the fact that they tell you that you are safe. You are no longer safe, because that is where they try to get everybody's information, so that when they introduce the mark of the beast, they will be able to track everybody down. So we need to rise in prayer so that God will save his own, so that God will always stand with his own. Thank you, and see you in the next post.